So, welcome to Eminem Talk.
My name's Mwila.
My name's Malunga.
Should we get into it, girl?
I think we need to because it's been a while.
It has. I want to know, what is your ick of the week?
Oh,
Because I want to know.
Yes. Ick of the week. I would probably say I just can't deal with flakiness. I really can't deal with flakiness.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Is there a backstory here?
Oh, I don't want to get into it. Let me ask you
Okay.
first because there is, and I know that I could probably go on about what happened.
Okay.
But yeah, like what would you say yours is?
I had so many to choose from this week. But mine is mainly kind of, I guess, people going beyond their boundaries in dating. I do have a bit of a backstory, a little one. It's just a small little fun one, but it's not like, yeah.
What do you mean, like with going? What do you mean?
So
Yeah.
I went on a date.
Okay.
To the cinema. Just the first date, we're just getting to know each other. I don't know you from Adam yet. We've spoken a few times on the phone. It's cool. And whilst we're in the cinema, please tell me, why is this guy trying to feed me popcorn? Like, as if...
no.
And I said, you know what? I'm not going to lie. I took it the first time. I let him feed me the popcorn the first time.
The
first time. Just the first one. Just the first one. Don't shame me, don't judge me. And then he kept on trying. And maybe that was the problem because I said, and I'm thinking to myself, this isn't really my energy, my vibe. I don't like being fed. It feels a bit awkward. And also, we're in a cinema setting. I'm trying to watch the movie and you're trying to feed me.
You're trying to get into it.
And it was a bit, he was trying to be flirty, but it wasn't flirty to me. So it kind of became more of an ick. Do you see what I'm saying?
I see.
And
got
like
a bit cheesy.
It got yeah.
It's so weird though because it's like the fact that he felt that comfortable.
Yeah, he shouldn't have.
Yeah, it was like that is only the first date. So could you imagine?
Oh no, I know it's true. That's true.
Have you?
No, but that was the end. It was the first and final. I'm not gonna lie, because there were some other things like he was doing on the date that made me feel a little bit like
it's too much.
Yeah, it wasn't even. It was petty things.
Yeah.
But when it's the first date, you feel like the petty things is fine to kind of leave it on, like, and just say, "You're not for me. I'm not for you."
Yeah.
He was a bit like, like when someone's eating and you can hear everything. And the thing is, I used to be that person. So I have I've changed. I've become aware of myself.
Yeah.
And yes, I was just like, I can't be hearing food digest whilst we're in the cinema as well. I was just like, and it's just popcorn. Like, it's not like it's soya, yam, and it's just something small.
Yeah.
Yes, I was just like, no, I don't think I could deal with this. And it's something petty and small.
Yeah.
But I think sometimes when you just know that this is not something for me, and also, do you know what? Maybe I wasn't feeding him that much. If I was feeding him a bit more, maybe
I'll put up with that.
I might have just put up with
it. Like, okay, he's feeding me and I like it.
Yeah, it probably would have. That's so true. Yeah.
I think when you're attracted to someone, there's certain things that you just
go with the flow. Yeah,
just go with the flow. You don't even see it as a red flag, or you're just like, oh well, you're focused on the lust of just how they look and how they make you feel.
Yeah, it's true.
When someone, when you're attracted to someone, the way they make you feel is
key.
It's
key.
And you just let so many things slide.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, so would you say like attraction on that point is like, because for me, I'm thinking attraction is a little bit more of an energy as well as the physical. I don't know. Are you the same? I feel like you are the same.
I think we are quite.
Yeah.
I think we are. I think for me, I feel like every single person that I've dated, I haven't been in many like long-term relationships, but the people that I've dated here and there are all very different.
Yeah, that's true.
And I went through a phase where I was dating quite a lot, and I guess it was just me trying to figure out what I like, or there's always something different about each person, but then at the same time they're quite similar. When you're like seeing someone and you think, oh, this person's completely different from the last, and then you realize actually there's similarities here. Like they kind of remind me of
This person.
my ex or this last person that I dated. So for me,
In a
I
good
would
way
say,
and bad way?
yeah, good
Yeah,
and bad.
yeah.
But I would say that obviously you look on the outside, but I do appreciate personality, emotional intelligence, and just like there's a mixture of things.
It's
but I feel like you
true.
have to be able to have a conversation
That's
that
true.
is beyond surface for me, because when it's surface, girl,
You're preaching.
even you, like I know,
Yeah,
with
you know I
you're
love a deep.
into the.
I like a deep dive.
She likes a deep dive. She likes a bit of an intensity.
I do like an intense
on a
conversation.
first-
It's true. On a first date, I don't like surface.
Yeah.
I think that's just because you just want to know so much more. I'm so intrigued by people
Yeah.
that I want to know almost everything about them. So I don't know if that's just something that's within me naturally, but I kind of just want to know where you're from, what your passions are, and I want someone to want to know that about me too.
You're curious.
Yeah. And I think when you're on a date and somebody doesn't give that, they're just like the attraction or they're not looking to be inquisitive, it kind of comes up as
It's
like a bit of,
off-putting.
yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It is, because it can feel a little bit stale and a little bit professional almost.
Yes, it can.
you know?
It's true. It's true.
I think if they talk about themselves too much,
That as well is not
that's
great.
also a bit of a. But you have to have.
Yeah,
you
that's
have to
true.
have a bit of
Balance, give and
interest in
take.
both.
Yeah.
And I think you know when someone likes you when they're actually taking interest, right? In like.
Yeah, that's true. In what you're
know,
doing and what you're up
yeah.
to or who you, what
time,
you, yeah.
what time you go to bed, even,
Yeah.
what you eat for breakfast.
That one I could
You
chill
know,
with. I
that
don't know. I don't think they need to know all of that.
What's your favorite color? You know,
Yeah,
all of that.
yeah,
You're like,
yeah.
okay, that's too much.
That's
information.
yeah.
But no, back to my ick actually,
Yes,
because
I wanted to
this
get back to.
probably links to like the attraction thing as well. But just in general, like even with friends, right? We've been friends for
years.
years.
Yeah.
We're like, yeah, I feel like we're like
15.
sisters.
We're sisters, girl.
Yeah,
Zambian sisters.
Zambian sisters for sure. But my ick would definitely be so the flakiness. But with friendships, like even recently, I just find that the older you get, the harder it can be to, you know, get together and make plans happen. And sometimes it feels like with some people, it's easier to just be a bit more impulsive and just spontaneous.
Yeah.
And with some people that really doesn't work and you have to like
Have a
plan
rigid-
it in the calendar beforehand.
Yeah.
But like either way, for me, when the person is just so flaky about it and has so many excuses as to why, you know, on the actual day or the day before, that's something that just gives me the ick and it just kind of pisses me off because I'm like, you know, it just feels like a waste of time and energy. And sometimes I just, you know, it's just having the patience for that is quite hard.
Yeah. I think
Yeah.
it's interesting because I know this is definitely an ick for you. We've spoken about this before. But I wanted to know, is it more on planning outings type of thing or is it conversational as well? Because what would you say? Is it more like a structure of like planning or would it be within conversations, like being flaky and
Oh, I see what you mean. So like if we're messaging, like they're taking forever to get back or whatever.
Yeah, or not even just that, but I mean just like that in itself.
I think it's more, I just appreciate like if you say you're going to do something,
live up to it, yeah.
do it, because I'm pretty much
You're
I've had
that person.
I'm that person.
You are.
I've had my flaky moments for sure, but communication is so important.
Barely. I don't think I can remember
Look.
a time when you were flaky.
Like,
I don't think so.
Like, if you
Yeah.
say you're going to do something, you know, go by that word and do it. And if you're going to do it 100%. Else there's just like no point of actually doing it. So I think that's something that I try and live by. So I guess I try and naturally I just hold other people to that same standard.
Yeah.
Like even us getting together today and like the things that we've done this week, and it's just been so nice. And I think that it's respectful when like both people honor the plans that are made and like honor each other, and things happen, right? But I think it's more just it's more the excuses around that, or if somebody's consistently flaky, then I think it just makes you not want to do stuff with that person. So like once or twice, but if it's like a pattern, then
This becomes,
you kind of in your mind put that person as a flaky person, so you never really take the plans that you make with them seriously, you know. Whereas,
and what about with trust? Do you think that breaks the trust in the relationship between you and that person?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just like that feeling of when you don't want to feel disappointed, maybe, or you just don't want to feel like you're let down, because that one plan might have been the thing that makes your day or your weekend, or something that you're looking forward to.
Yeah. Do you think you have an expectation of being disappointed that time?
Oh,
deep.
Wow,
You don't like to go deep.
Girl, are we in a therapy session? Do I have an expectation of
being disappointed at times?
I don't know.
Preempt.
I don't know. To you?
I think I'm surprised if it does happen that someone's like disappointed me in a way. But then I think now, as I've gotten older, it's interesting. In my 20s, I felt like it was more of a surprise. But now I feel like that expectation of disappointment has started to seep in a little bit more.
Okay, so what do you mean? So you're expecting people to almost
disappoint a little bit,
let you down.
But maybe that's because of.
So you're not surprised if people let you down.
Yeah, and I think that might be like a defense mechanism, maybe, because I'm like trying to. I don't know if other people feel this, but you know when you're trying to kind of protect yourself before something happens, so then you almost put that layer up.
Yeah,
and maybe it's experiences that have created it, because at a younger age, obviously, I was just like, I haven't experienced that much. So it's like, so I think maybe that's what has built that for me.
I see what you mean, because it's kind of, you almost expect the worst just so that you prepare yourself a little bit, and then if it happens, like if it doesn't happen, then you're like, well,
you know, it's
fine.
knew
it wasn't gonna happen.
But you can kind of tell with the different people, like you said, like you would just put that person, if it keeps on happening as a plan, or if they keep on disappointing that plan, then you just expect that that's going to happen with that person, which is also disappointing in itself, because I don't want to label someone as a person that's not going to live up to
and show up. Show up. It's really about, I think it's showing up for people that you care about, and showing up for yourself.
That's true.
I think that's what it is, because those same people might have an expectation for you to show up for them.
It's true.
But then when it comes to you, it's like, they're nowhere to be found. It's like, nah. Like, where are you? It's like, no, this works both ways.
Yeah,
you know?
That's true.
Not to be too tit for tat, but at the same time, it's like, it has to, I think every relationship, whether it's romantic, you know, whether it's just friends or family, it has to have that balance. But do you? Oh, you were
no, I was going to ask you something, but you go.
No, but do you think that you have more expectations for your friends rather than your romantic? You know, if you know, let's say it came to you seeing someone, do you feel like you would let them off a bit more?
If it was a romantic,
if it was a romantic situation, and maybe you're harsher with your friends or family.
I think it might be the other way around.
Okay.
I think with relationships, I have way more, if it's like a serious relationship. If it's just dating, then maybe not as much. But if we're if we're solid, we're in a relationship together, I expect you to live up to showing up for me, because I put way more onus on it. I put way more. I don't know. There's more energy in it. It doesn't mean that you haven't just shown. I make it mean more. So it's not that you just haven't shown up to this situation, but it's like, are you going to continue to do this? Are you going to be like this in the future? What if we have kids? Are you going to disappoint them?
She's thinking ahead. She's like,
and it's a bit toxic.
It's not.
Because I don't know. It's not the worst. It's on borderline. But it's a little bit like, because you want to live in the moment, and you don't want to create a space or put like label somebody in a way just based on one experience. People are human at the same time. So I am learning to not do that.
So you're kind of learning to let go a little bit and just ease your way into like the whole kind of dating thing, rather than...
Yeah, and allowing them to show me, like, because then I also try to help them as well. Like, not help, but like, how can I say help? But like, I try to pattern it in a way where you can't mess up.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
So it's like I'm even giving you more
Oh, okay.
like leeway so that you don't disappoint
Yeah.
me. But then when you
Yeah.
start to do things, and even though I've given you this like extra arm and you're still
Yeah.
not even taking it, I'm thinking to myself,
Yeah.
come on now, like it's not
working.
that. Yeah.
Because also, I do think that it's important to start as you means to go on.
True.
So even though you kind of want to be like, oh, well, it's just the dating phase and I can be a bit more light and just go with the flow, it's a bit like, you know, that intention is so important. Like still, like
True, you're right,
having
you're
that
right.
intention to know if, yeah, because I think that will speak, you know, if you're going into a dating situation and your intention is for marriage and for like a long-term relationship or kids or whatever, I feel like you kind of have to be that way from the jump, really.
Yeah, that's true.
But without being a bit
Too intense.
which
Yeah,
is
because
just
I've had the
hard.
other way of that as well, where it's like,
with someone.
yeah, you know,
Explain.
you know, but like where the person was very intense and very intentional, and I did like it, and it was like a attraction. But it became to a point where it was like, we're still in the getting to know each other phase.
Yeah.
Let's not get to
Yeah.
the end of the line before in
Before
advance.
we've
Yeah,
you've
let's have like a
gotta-
balance here. Yeah.
Yeah, you've
So
got
it's-
to pace it.
So what about for you?
What about
Do
me?
you feel like you put your friends,
same
yeah,
thing,
hold
yeah.
them up to a higher?
I was getting so carried away with what you were saying because it's so important. But I would say I'm pretty even.
Okay.
I would say I'm pretty even. I'm maybe harsher with my family, actually.
Oh wow, okay, yeah.
I'm harsh with my family and friends. Actually, I am, yeah. I'm writing
I
in
was
capital
gonna say,
letters.
I was literally about to say, I think you might be telling a fib.
Oh, really?
I think
Like,
you're a
you're
bit
like-
harsh, right? But yeah, no, okay.
Actually, that's true.
Is there a reason, do you feel?
They just know me, like they've seen every side of me, and it takes me a while to really show those like ugly sides, you know, those more, I guess you could say, I'm not going to use that word, but yeah, the sides that are more hidden. It just takes me a while to fully open up. But I guess on the surface, I'm naturally like, you know, bubbly. I'll talk to people. I'm open, but there's just a layer. It's like an onion.
No.
I don't know why did that accent like an onion? There's layers
There's
to the
layers
cake.
to this.
there's
Yeah,
layers,
yeah.
Right. So I guess because my family, my friends have seen me through every bit of a transition until now. I can write to my sister in capital letters and say, listen, I'm going to cut you off if, you know, I can come with that energy. Like,
But you could say that the other way around, though. You could say that because they know you and they know all that, you would be a bit more easier on them because
see.
you know they know what you've been through, or they know. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not. And it's more like you cut to the chase, right? If I'm meant to meet my sister and she's running late, or I'm running late, it's just like, where are you? It's not even
it's true.
are you?
Hey, what's going on?
how's
Yeah,
it-
yeah.
You know, what time do you think you're gonna roughly? It's like, where are you? You know, you get straight to it.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
And you're not like that in relationships, are you? No.
I am eventually.
Okay. Wow.
Eventually,
Yeah, okay.
like slowly but surely.
Is that something?
not
Where do you think that
looking-
comes from? Because like the kind of cutthroatness around like timing and things like that and order.
Oh, do you think? Oh,
There's the cutthroat there. There's cutthroat. Go.
yeah. Again, I think it comes from the flakiness. I think it comes from the fact that when I was growing up, a lot of the stuff, like I had to look after myself in many ways, and when you learn to be responsible and figure things out on your own or the hard way, you're just, I guess you just develop that kind of.
It's almost a safety ness in it as well, because I hear you saying it, and it does remind me. It makes me think of like the way you're expressing it is like a safety ness in knowing that this person's going to show up at this time, or this person's going to do
really
as they said they're going to do.
It puts me at ease.
Yeah.
It's probably one of my like. It's really nice to know that somebody when they say they're going to do something does that, and you don't have to worry or feel anxious that they're not going to show up for you. And I guess sometimes we're our worst critic, right? We're our worst enemy. So I think it's probably that. But how have you?
I was just about to ask you the same thing. I wouldn't think.
I'm gonna.
How have you been? Oh, you wanted me to ask how I've been?
Yeah, how have you been really?
How have I been really? Oh gosh, this week. Do you know what? I feel like I have had a bit of a transition regarding my 30s. It's a weird one. I never really thought age was a huge thing, turning a new age.
Yeah.
And I've been 30 for a minute now. But but I feel like something switched a little bit inside of me where I felt like maybe my younger self's expectation of what I would look like at this age isn't quite matching up.
Okay.
And so it was a little bit of a difficult pill to swallow. I remember when I was 29 last year. I said it, remember way back when.
Back in the day.
I remember, like, you know, just thinking to myself, oh, you know, like, I'm going to be turning, like, my 20s, I'm just finishing, I'm going to be turning 30 soon. I want to have this, and this done. And I wanted to cramp it all in that one year. Obviously, it's not going to happen if I haven't done it in the last. But, you know, I think it made me think a lot about the expectations that society puts on us, or not even just society, but we put on ourselves in society around age and also growth.
Yeah.
And not to say that it's like I want to give myself a little bit of an easement around it, or just an excuse of saying, oh, I'm not going to do it because, you know, I'm going against society's pressures, etc., etc. But I feel like I need to be observant of my thoughts a little bit more and a bit aware, and not give myself too much of a hard time, because at the same time that can stagnate your growth.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
That is so true.
So it's been how I am. It's been a bit up and down. I can't lie, because I've been trying to tread carefully on how I guess I've been intentional on how I think about myself and how I think about what I want and the expectations I put for myself.
Yeah. Do you think there's been an element of judgment? Like you judging where you're at? And
oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay,
yeah.
so that's where it's like being very critical of yourself. And
100%. I think I'm quite critical of myself more than anything.
Yeah.
I think we all are, though, in some sense.
So what is it that you were, like, I know this might be a bit getting deep, but what is it that you were expecting to have at this point now in your
I think I just felt like I had a bit more independence in my own space.
Okay.
There was, like, you know, personal goals, like driving, those little things.
Yeah.
They're not little, but, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Which, you know, it's not the end of the world if you're 30 and you're not driving. But I felt like just small things that I'd thought I would have. And then also just looking at what I thought an adult would be, like having kids and a kind of really serious relationship or marriage, that type of thing was also a part of that. But I am almost, I don't know, like, it feels a little bit, I think also matched up with the fact that, like, around my 30s or being in my 30s, I was in a breakup, and I think that that was quite a long-term relationship, I would say.
Yeah.
And I think that matched with the expectation, made me think, oh, do you know what? I'm starting again a little bit.
I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Because you weren't necessarily expecting that to happen. Well,
no, not really.
You're like, well, I can see the breakup coming a little bit. But I guess
it bamboozled.
But it's just like, damn. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Do you think? Yeah.
Because I've seen, it's so weird, because recently I feel like I've met very interesting couples and couples that have inspired me, because, you know, I'm not at that point yet where I'm thinking, okay, marriage, kids, but obviously it's in the back of my mind. And I think it's more because of society's pressures. It's not because I've always thought to myself, I'm going to be this career-driven, like, independent kind of. I want to.
Family's never really been your top priority.
It's not
like
my
that.
top priority. I come from a big family, but also, yeah, there's so many things that I want to achieve for myself.
Yeah.
And yeah, as a woman, we've got certain, you know, we've got rights that we didn't have way back when, and there's so many things that we can do now that mean that we can also we can have it all.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
If we really put our minds to it, and maybe the kids and the marriage thing isn't so much at the forefront. And there's I've been reading certain things on the way it's changed and the way that women.
When you said interesting couples,
more,
which like were they inspiring or were they?
So yeah, they were inspiring to me in a way, because it's like, so one of my friends, she's a bit older. I've got a lot of friends that are just different ages, but a lot of older friends.
You looked at me like, old are you?
Yeah, I was basically letting you know, older than you, so don't worry. If you're feeling like you're old, you're not, like, guys.
No.
Yeah, 30 is nothing.
No, 30 is nothing, yeah.
People always say that to me as well. Like, when I start saying, okay, yeah, I'm like 20, mid-20s, whatever.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah.
You know, which I love. But anyway, so this couple, they've been together for maybe 20 years or so. You know, they're married.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, long time.
Yeah.
And that in this day and age feels like it's like, wow, you've been together longer than 5 years even.
Yeah.
You know, there's just...
They've probably been together more in their adult life than they have not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it feels like such an amazing achievement when you hear that somebody's been in a long-term thing, because I do think nowadays people kind of give up quite quickly. But anyways, that's another
story. That's another time.
But what I loved is, so they don't have kids. They're married. They've got a beautiful home. And they're really invested in each other still. And they still do things for each other and go away. And they're both just living their best lives, honestly. From the outset, anyway. It's like, that's what it appears to me. But when I talk to them both, and especially my friend, she seems really content with her husband, and the pressure for kids and everything, and to have all of that and that be the happiness doesn't seem like it's her focus at all.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing. She's never really mentioned that to me, and I just think it
doesn't need to be in a relationship.
It doesn't always
actually have to be that. It doesn't have to be your meat and then your
and if you don't have those things, what I like is seeing those examples of people that are married, have their home, have been together for a long time, but maybe they don't have kids, or maybe they've been together for a long time and they're not married, or they travel together and they do all of these things. There's just so many different examples that I think need to be shown, rather than just like, you need to do this and have this and this, and we need to take that pressure off ourselves, because girls, listen, you're fine.
I know, but I'm good.
Come on.
What about you though? So how have you been really?
How have I been? I've been up and down, I can't lie. So the other day I literally had a bit of a meltdown, just because it's so hard, like when you're creative and you're trying to find work in the acting and music industry and just anything creative, really. It feels like sometimes you're not valued as much in the same way. So people want your energy, they want your talent, they want your gift, but it's like they're not really trying to match that up with the payment. You know, they're not really trying to, you know, and even if you're not being paid, let's say they're just helping you out with material and giving you material that you can add to a show reel, and you know, to enable you to get more work. So I just feel like there's been a bit of a struggle in terms of trying to find creative opportunities and work to keep going. So I guess that's been one thing that's definitely like got me down a little bit, but then there's been really nice moments, and I feel like I've done a lot of writing and journaling, and
I was just about to ask, how do you heal in that moment, in those moments, with the ups and the downs of like with the music industry and the acting, and what is your way of healing through it, or even working through moments of down?
Yeah, I guess I just love journaling. I think journaling is great, and you know, if you're lucky enough to have a therapist as well, that's great. I think that's what helps really, and just doing some like value work. You know, what are my values? What's important to me? Because yes, I can get any kind of job, but at the same time, for me, it's more important that I'm doing things that I love rather than things that just pay X amount. Because I've tried.
And you're doing.
Yeah.
You're not just trying, you're doing and succeeding. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think, you're doing a lot in your music, in your acting. I've seen how you've been growing as well.
There are bits coming together, but it's just that the patience that you have to have. Like, it's true. It's not like there's nothing. It's not like there's been no opportunities whatsoever, but it's just that it takes a while, and it's like, what do we do whilst we're waiting?
Yeah.
Something. Maybe don't just wait. Maybe find stuff to do in between that time. I don't know.
I like what you said. You said, what was it?
Value work.
Yeah, value work. What does that like? Explain that to me. What does that look like?
I would say value works are more kind of, it's just more looking at like what's important to you. So I really value being able to create, and I want to find something that aligns with my values. So I want to be in.
What are your values?
What are your values? I'm getting I
can't actually your values go.
Am I not allowed? No, that's a really good question. I have a few. I would say one of my top values would be feeling like I can be authentic.
Okay.
And authentically myself, and express myself and be heard, listened to. Yeah. I think it's really important to be able to feel like I'm being listened to. And I just want to be in environments that aren't too fast paced to the point where I'm like burning out and I just feel like I'm a number, or I feel like I'm just ticking a box, because that doesn't make me feel authentic or feel like I'm fully expressing my gifts and what naturally comes to me, What would you say some of your
similar actually? I would say feeling authentic and also feeling seen as well as a value, and seeing others as well, I think is a huge thing that I value. People seeing each other in the sense that like in the world, I think in a broader scheme as well as on a individual level, like in families. Like sometimes I feel like I try, but I find myself having a little bit of a gap between really seeing some family members at times, because the relationship, I guess, just hasn't built to that space yet, or I haven't allowed myself to just be as free and open as I am with sometimes with my friends. But it's something I'm working on, especially as I'm getting older, because there's so much to value out of those type of connections, and it's a gift to have family in itself. So that is another thing that I find is a huge value, is family and friendships, like relationships, really.
And being able to, even just like the way we're collaborating and it's just collaboration is something that's so important as well, because you don't feel like you're on your own trying to make all of these things happen. You realize, you're going through the same thing, and then you can kind of help each other up as well. But I feel like a lot of people might not realize that they're doing things that don't align with what their values are, and maybe sometimes we're going against our values, Oh, look, Mila's thinking about something.
I'm thinking about something, I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think, I think you really know. I know, it's coming. Maybe the future. If we'll get there, we'll get there.
You know what we
But I think, no, you're right in that sense. And I think it's true. It's difficult, though. And two things I was going to say. I think one, it's difficult to sometimes, do things that are completely adjusted to because we don't, for me, I work in a space where I'm not in control of everything, if that makes sense. So I kind of have to cohere to the value of the company more than my personal values, but I also integrate my personal values into that space. But then in regards to, what was it, the other thing in regards to when you were saying about, what was it you said just now?
Like sometimes it doesn't align.
Oh, I forgot. And it was just about values, Oh, you said something that had hit home for me, but I can't remember it. But in regards to just taking it back to like values. I think for me, like when it comes to like being in a workspace and like holding those values, I have to find ways to integrate that for myself.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Because, and I think that's where it's like you kind of lose the sense of love and humanity and that feeling of togetherness and that spirit, because so much is about superficial, materialistic things that are, and there's so much that I've been reading about love and community and I don't want to like name drop anything, but like just certain things, when you look into it, you realize what's missing in today's world. And sometimes you're working somewhere and it's like, actually, it's not really in the rules to do this. I'm not really allowed to do this. But sometimes it's just something in your spirit that's like, this person actually needs
this support.
Just an extra bit of support, even if it's not completely aligning with the rules that have been set.
Set inside,
Because rules are there to,
be broken.
Like,
no, they're not. They're there to be.
Abide. Yeah, sometimes.
It depends. It's relative.
Yeah, but sometimes it's like.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. It makes such a difference when you can feel that difference when somebody goes out of their way to genuinely go beyond I'm just doing my job. I'm just doing my job, Like even, for example, like I get the cab or whatever, and I got all my bags and all my stuff. And there's some cab drivers that are like, they're helping me with the bags.
Yeah. Or there's even just have conversation. Or they get the energy that is like, I don't want to talk.
Yeah.
Or they get the vibe of, let's pick up a conversation. But
there's some that will help. And then there's some where it's like, listen, you got all them bags and you're struggling to get in and out of the car, but I'm not really bothered, and that's that. And it's like, it makes, I always remember those people that are like, they're just being kind. Yeah. Literally just being kind. Because I think we need more of that. Not because you're getting something back, not because someone's paying you to be kind. It's just because you're like genuinely treating people how you wish to be treated.
Yeah. I was going to ask about before previously when you were talking about the collaboration. I feel like you're somebody who's like really good at like creating spaces to collaborate with people and like showing up in that way as well. And I think I've grown up, I feel like all my life I've known you, all my life, the whole time I've known you, you've been really good at like supporting friends and getting them to come along with like what you're doing and collaborating with different people. I've found it much more difficult. So what would you say as an advice to getting people to collaborate better?
You know what? That's actually a really good question, because even recently when I like made my short film and was working on bits of that, it was like my first time ever doing that. It was just like, I wasn't even feeling 100% in myself. Like I wasn't feeling 100% confident, but it's like, who do I have around me? What resources can I use with my finances and a lot of the time it's the person that you don't even think of first. It's just your friend almost, or a distant friend. But I think just making a start. Okay. And like when it comes to collaboration, it's putting it out there. If people can see that you're really passionate about something, they're gonna match your energy. It's actually, to me, I would say, to me, I would say it's more about the energy and the passion that people can see in you. If I see that you're passionate about something, I'm more likely to want to be a part of it because I can see that. And then also I would say like that's an incentive, you're going to get, you'll get this and this out of it because most people kind of need that incentive. But for collaboration, it's literally about, it's reading the room as well and working with people and not judging them as well. Like there were a couple of times people were late and certain things were happening, and I don't like the flaky. Yeah. And you just have to kind of you have to be kind and just accept and just be like, we're all working together, we're all trying our best. That's it. Yeah. That's it. You know? The main goal is we need to get this done. Yeah. So regardless, we're gonna do that.
Yeah. No, I get that as well. Yeah. And I think Yeah, I see you doing. I think also there is an onus of like being like not holding yourself in a way. Like for me, I feel like I overjudge myself. So I think, what can I bring to them almost in this situation? So it's like I want to be at a level where I feel like if I'm collaborating, you feel like you've gotten value from being in my space as well.
Oh, I see.
Do you see what I mean? Or but then if I feel like I'm not sure or I'm not ready, or then it's difficult to ask someone to
if you're not sure, they're definitely not going to be sure.
That's true.
And most of the time it's something that you're passionate about. As much as people are helping you and collaborating, there's always one person actually driving. Like you can't have too many cooks. It's like it's actually okay to just be like, this is my vision, this is my dream, and you've got people assisting that or feeding into that, and you're all worthy in your own ways. But at the same time, if it's all falling on you, which there's only one person driving,
take ownership of
then take ownership of that, and don't be scared of that. Like actually embrace that, and don't be scared to look like, oh yeah, it's too bossy, to this, to that. It's like, it's not falling on you though. It's not necessarily coming out of your pocket in the same way or taking your energy in the same way.
But I guess some of it is about learning in itself.
Do you feel like you've learned through the process of things that you've been creating? Because I know you've been working on your channel.
Do you know what I've found? That I'm learning more about myself in the sense of how I work. I do work better with people, interestingly enough, when I say about collaborating. But I also feel like I need structure. If I don't have the structure around doing something, it's not going to get done.
Yeah.
It's not, I'm not that. I'm not the let's go with the flow type of person. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So I need to kind of, I think the organization level of creating is quite an important part in doing anything, really. And I never used to see the value in, I saw the value in it, but I never used to put onus on that as much. And so I think putting more energy in just kind of planning and organizing, and then adding the creativity into that as well.
Executing it,
then that does help. Yeah,
it's not just off the cuff. Like although it looks that way when it comes to, creating content or whatever, it's like, it's
very intentional.
Yeah, it's very intentional, and it's never just off the cuff. But obviously, like, there is an element of allowing yourself to be present and like having to be that way. But I love that about you, because you're like, you give 100% energy.
Oh, I try.
You attract so many people because you're just a loving person. Like,
thank you. So are you. Do you know what I mean? That's
why
I think we're like,
we're loving on each other.
Literally.
And I mean, on that note of loving on each other and just having this conversation, I feel like for me, it's just one thing I can definitely take away from just this experience talking with you, is learning to value myself a bit more and create more. You've definitely made me think of ways that I can go about the next coming weeks or whatever, just to kind of believe in that creativity a bit more and have fun. So talking to you has really made me think of what I can go forward with. Yeah,
in the same light, I think for
me,
you? Like I feel like I've like learned a lot about, like, especially when it comes to this collaborating and like, I guess being your own boss and kind of taking ownership and almost trusting yourself that you've got this and you're able to do. You do that quite well, and I've seen you do it in multiple dimensions. You transforming in multiple areas, in multiple disciplines. And I think that's something I'm going to be trying to take on as well. And like, I might be messaging you, I need some advice on that. We're going to be and holding each other accountable maybe for this.
Let's do that.
So
that's what we're gonna end on that. We're gonna hold each other accountable and continue to check in, and we're each other's cheerleaders, which is so important.
Yeah, I think that's the greatest thing about friendship. Is that cheerleading element and that space of being able to have somebody here
and support.
And really, and see you and create with you. So I just love you, girl.
Me too.
So I think this is the end.
Thank you for listening, guys.
Yeah, make sure you Like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're just seeing a clip of it, make sure you head to, our channel, M&M Talks.
Yeah, give us a follow, M&M.
Share this around to your friends, your family, your cousins,
your
aunts.
neighbor. But yeah, thank you for listening. And yeah, there's more to come.
Yeah. So we'll see you soon. Bye.